Hey gang, it is Tuesday, let's see, May 31st, 2022, and I'm pretty sure I've never shown anyone how to remove duckweed the easy way from an aquarium, a pond, a bin. But what I use, a jar, a fairly tall container, you can see it's taller than my jar, that will come in handy, and then whatever has some duckweed in it. This is going to be easy because it doesn't have guppies that are going to try and swim into my skimmer. So watch this. Super ultra, very easy, barely even sticking underwater. And you just go around and remove as much duckweed as you can while removing as little water as you can. Just go around. I usually go to whatever area has the most at the time. Definitely start with whatever area has the most. And you will be accruing duckweed. From there, you gotta have a place to pour it off. I'll show you how to deal with that later. That's just the first part. But essentially, we're mechanically removing duckweed the simplest way possible. We're letting gravity and water do the work for us. And you can see when you get to a certain point, you just go around the edges. And basically, all the duckweed falls into the jar. Magic! We call it gravity. Super magic. And heck, I'll just leave the video roll until we get it all out of here. Uh-oh, I was going a little too deep that time. I filled my jar up a little too quickly. I could have gotten more duckweed for the same volume of water if you go slowly. And I think you can probably tell that if one is diligent and has a steady hand, you can in fact remove all of the duckweed pretty easy. Sometimes I'll accidentally catch a guppy. It's okay, I just pour them right in there. Because what I do after this, if I have a guppy in here, I simply scoop up most of that, toss it aside. If I don't have a guppy in that, I'm going to fill this all the way up such that it's higher than my jar. And then you can again skim the duckweed off the top of your container. That's why I said it's helpful to have a tall one. Tall and narrow works really well, but tall is really the only thing that it has to be for the jar to be able to function. And we go around and do this until it was a little too much. We go around and do this literally until all the duckweed is out. If you stop sometime before all the duckweed is out, it's still better, but guess what? Still got duckweed in it. Pretty simple stuff. So, I don't know. If you guys believe me, we can just pretend that we've already gotten this out just for the sake of making a shorter video. I think you guys get the point of this. I'm going to go around until all of the duckweed is out. The other part of it is, when you fill this up, oops, I actually need to get a little more. That kind of sucks. I'm going to have to dip this back down in the water. But it's right beside the jar. The duckweed that was on the side will go right back in the jar because it was right beside the jar. I just wanted to show you a shorter video. I messed up. Oops. So there's more water in the secondary thing that I'm pouring the water into after it comes out of the jar now. There's probably enough in here to show you that this same trick, oh bam, it works for that. Cool. So you can do that several different ways. You can use your hand, or you can just skim it off that stuff again. Once you skim it all out of your vessel here, you can pour that water straight back into wherever it came from. So if you're doing this from an aquarium, that's the trick to not having to add a bunch of extra water. You can have a couple of vessels like this. So you take it out of one, pour it into the second one, then you can pour this water back in because you're not going to be pulling all of the water out every time. Or you can water a dead plant. That one's a little too dead to water. This one's not. Cool. Pretty sure the duckweed's not going to grow in the desert, so whatever. But, yeah, that's how we accomplish this task. It's really simple. Anyone can do it. You don't have to have a steady hand. You don't have to be skilled. Just start scooping it out. But this way, you actually get it all, as opposed to trying to snatch it with a net or get it with your bare hands. So after a few tries over a lot of years, this is kind of the method I use to remove the duckweed. I call it duckweeding. Actually, that should be the name of this video, duckweeding. Nah, then nobody's going to be able to find it because you got to search whatever. Okay, I haven't gotten it all, but surely that's a sufficient, demonstration. Yes, you can get it all. Definitely no problem. You can get it all out this way. But that's 6.5 minutes worth of watching me scoop duckweed, so that's enough, right? Okay, so 6.5 minutes while jabbering and holding a phone in my hand, I was able to get a 55-gallon bucket almost all out. 2 or 3 more scoops, I would be able to get it out, but that's just enough. You don't need to see that for video purposes. I'll do this on another one at a later date, and that's why some of my aquariums have duckweed and some of them have no duckweed, because I remove it.